Today I'm going to be solving this puzzle from the Cracking the Cryptic app. This is puzzle number 1 called the full Kropki Sudoku, and it's from the Domino Sudoku puzzle pack that you can purchase. I think it's like $6. And yeah, so for those who don't know, the classic Sudoku rules apply, and with a Kropki Sudoku, digits between a white dot, or digits on either end of a white dot, I guess, must be consecutive, and digits that have a black dot between them have to have a 1-2 ratio. So they have to be like twice as big or twice as small, whatever. And this is a full Kropki, which means that there is a negative constraint, meaning that all of the possible dots are given. So if any other digits fall with, or like any other digits in the puzzle, if they don't have a dot between them, then they can't have either a consecutive digit beside them or a digit that has a 1-2 ratio, if that makes sense, hopefully. So we'll start down here. This seems like the easiest place to start. So start by just kind of the easiest way to look at it. So when you have the 1-2 ratio, the only numbers that can go on either side of a black dot would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8, because the possible pairs are 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 4 and 8, or 3 and 6. So those are the only numbers that can go on either side of the black dot. And since this has like a, what do we call it, a line of 4 essentially, we know that it has to be 1, 2, 4, and 8. So we can safely say that 1 and 8 will be on the outsides, and that 2 and 4 will be here, which means that this has to be 3 and 6. So from here, see, this is what I like about a negative constraint, because when I'm playing it, I often forget that there is the negative constraint, and so then I might be lost with something, and then I remember, and it kind of makes it more fun and makes everything make sense. So we know right now that this has to be 6. It can't be 3 because there's no white dot, and regardless of whether this is 2 or 4, it will be consecutive to 3. So that has to be 6. That has to be 3. And we know that 3 and 6 can't go here because either they would break the classic rules or they would break the negative constraint. So this is going to have to be some combination of 1 and 2 or 4 and 8, because 2 and 4 cannot go here again because they would break the negative constraint. So that'll be 1 or 8, that'll be 2 or 4, and now we have a 2-4 double already in this row. Sorry for the interruption, I need to turn my brightness up. Okay, so now here, this can't be 3 or 6, so we know again this has to be either 1 and 2 or 4 and 8. Because it can't be 2 and 4 because 2 or 4 needs to go there. So I'll leave that empty for now. And we will start up here. So this again has to be like 1, 2, 4, like that, or 2, 4, 8, and either direction. I already know that 1 can't go here because its ratio black dot digit would be 2, and then its consecutive digit is 2, so 1 can't go there. So let's just, and 2 and 4 can't go here, so it would have to be 1 or 8 here. So let's start with 1 and just see what happens. So if we had 1 there, that's 2, that's 4. This has to be 3 or 5, and this would have to be 3 or 5, but it can't be 5 because 5 does not have a 1-2 ratio digit within the numbers 1 to 9. So that would have to be 3. That would be 5. That would be 6. And then that would be 5 or 7. So now let's see what happens if we have 8 here. Oh, actually, I'm going to put that in a different color just to so you can see. So if we did 8, 4, and 2, then we would need 1 or 3, and also 1 or 3, but if, okay, I don't think it can be 1, because if it was 1, it would be 2, and then we're breaking the negative constraint here. So regardless of which number, if that is 1 or 8, this has to be 3, and that has to be 6. And now let's see. So for this 3 in a row here, we're on a corner, I guess. So it can't be 3 or 6, because it would have to look like this, like 3, 6, 3, and obviously we can't do that because we have 3 and 6 in this row already, and in the box. So it would have to start, so we'll have to start with either 1 or 8, because we know for sure 2 and 4 has to go in one of these two cells. So it'll start with 1 or 8, which is, I'm going to change back to the original color, which is helpful because now we can solve this whole sequence here. Because now we've got ourselves a 1, 8 double here. We know this can't be 1, so it must be 5, which means that must be 4, 2, and 1, so that must be 8. That will have to be 4, and then this could be 2 or 8. Now, this will be 3 or 6 between this black dot, and then, okay, so we know that this has to be 3, because if it was 6, then this would have to be 5 or 7, and 5 or 7 can't go on the black dot. So this will have to be 3, and that'll be 6, and then we're going to have 2 or 4 here. I'm trying to think whether this would have to be 1 or 8, or whether it could potentially be 2, 4. I'll leave that for now. So now we can solve a lot for down here. Well, the notes we put in before, we know that has to be 2, so that has to be 1, 4, and 8. And what else can we put down? So this has to be 3 or 5. So let's look at this row here, because we have a consecutive pair right here. So I want to look at the numbers we already have and see, like the numbers we already have written down, and see which numbers we're missing that could go as a consecutive pair. So we have 1, 2, 3 can't go here because both of its consecutive digits are already in the row. Can't be 4. It could be potentially 5 and 6, or it could be 6 and 7. Right, so that means that 9 has to go down here. 9 has to go there, because we know 9 can't go in this consecutive dot. 9 can't go here because it's consecutive to 8 and doesn't have the dot there. So 9 has to go there. So now we are left with 3, 5, 6, and 7. And now we know this has to be 6 and 7, because 7 can't go up there. So actually, and we know this has to actually be 6, and that will have to be 3, because 7 doesn't have a black dot pair. So that'll be 7. Now what do we know? I'll just plug 3 and 5 in up there. Oh, but actually that means if 3 and 5 are the only options there, that means that can't be 4. So it would have to be, well, at least 1, 2, or 8 right now, in theory, unless I'm missing something. And now we know, so this will have to be 5, because it can't be 7. This will have to be 6, because it can't be 4. And then that'll be 7. Oh, and we can plug in the 2 and the 1 there. And then we'll have 4 and 8 here. And what are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somehow I still need to always count from 1 to 9 to see what number I'm missing. So now we're left with a 3, 5, 7 triple here. And what numbers are we missing? 3, 5, 9. Okay. I'm going to leave that for now and plug in numbers we're missing here, 7, 9, 7, 9. And then this would have to be 8 or 6. Oh, right. So 2 needs a consecutive digit here. We know it can't be 3 now, so it must be 1. And then 3 will have to be, so it can't be 2, 1, because then that would have to be 2. So it must be 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we know 6 has to go here, which means 3 has to go there. And that could be 2 or 4. And now we've got the 2, 4 double in this row. We know that can't be 1, so it has to be 2 or 8. So now we're missing 2 digits in this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Okay, so we can plug those in easily. Now we just need 2 or 4 over here. So what are we missing in this box here? We're missing 2, 4, 5, and 8. So we can say that 4 and 5 has to go there because those are the only consecutive digits in that in those 4 numbers. We know 5 can't go here, so that will have to be 4. And that'll have to be 8 because it can't be 2. And then that could be 7 or 9 for all I know right now. That'll be 5. What else do we need in here? 2 and 8. Right, so that'll be 2, that'll be 8. And then that'll be 4. Now, that could be 3 or 5. And it's going to have to be 3 simply because 3 can't go here or here. Because if 3 went there... Oh, wait, no. I was looking at it wrong, actually. Okay, well, this is going to have to be 1, 2, and 4. Because it couldn't be 2, 1. Because 2 can't go here. That'll be 8, so that will have to be 9. This one will be 3, and then this will be 5. Okay. Now we'll have to put 5 there because it can't be 3. Now we need 7, 9. So now we have our 7, 9 double in this row. So what do we have left here? We've got 2, 6, or 8 that could go here. It can't be 8 and it can't be 6, so it has to be 2. That'll be 1. So now we're missing 3, 6, and 8. Okay, so since we have 3, 6 here, we'll put 8 there. That'll be 6, so that'll be 7. That'll be 9. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, right, and that's 3. So that, oh shit, fuck. We've gone wrong somewhere along the way. Okay, let me just back up for a sec. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Okay, I found where I made the mistake. And it was thinking that this must be 2. Why did I think that? Because it could only be 1, 2, 3. Oh, of course. I forgot it could be 3 for some reason. Okay, so that's got to be 3 then, right? Because it can't be 2, apparently. And it can't be 6 because 3 is here. It can't be 8 because 4 is here. So it's got to be 3. And we'll put 6 there. Okay, now we have 2, 6, and 8. So we need 2, 8, and 2, 6, 8. So that's got to be 6, which will make this 7, and this will be 9. That'll be 7. And now we can put 7 here, and fill in the 9 there. A lot of this, or some of it, we can probably just solve intuitively at this point, perhaps. So this has to be 1 and 2 in these cells, which will make this 9. So that's 9, and that is also 9, which makes this 2 because it can't be 8. It'll be 8, so we've got 4 and 8 here. And we need 3 and 5 in these two cells, so this will be 5. That will be 3, 5, and then we can plug in the 7, and this will be 3. And what's next? So in this box we're missing 1 and 8, so that'll be 1 and 8 because we already have the 8 here. And then we need 1 and, what is it, 2? Yep. And then we put in the 1 and 2 over here. Oh, and now we can solve. So that's 8. That'll be 2. That'll be 4. What are we missing here? 7. And then we need just 1, 2, 3, 4,